Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack some pretty complex topics and hopefully give you some truly informed perspective.
Absolutely.
Have you ever felt just, overwhelmed by everything? Modern life, it's a lot.
Definitely. Digitally, personally, it's complex.
Yeah. Endless passwords, feeling exposed online all the time, and then just the personal juggle, right? Information overload.
Right.
But what if the answers to some of our biggest tech headaches, those security nightmares, actually held keys to maybe more personal freedom, more well-being?
That's exactly the journey, isn't it? That's what we're diving into today.
Okay.
It's this really fascinating exploration. We're looking at cutting-edge cybersecurity, some revolutionary programming ideas, and even really deep personal philosophies. How to live with purpose.
Wow, okay. Those sound pretty separate.
They do on the surface. What's amazing is they're all connected. There's this core thread of intelligent design, human-centered thinking.
Yeah.
And it all comes together through the work and vision of one person, Michel Combes.
Right. So our mission today, for you listening, is to show you how these ideas, self-organization, implicit design, genuine kindness, how they're not just tech jargon.
Not at all.
They can actually transform your daily life, your sense of personal sovereignty. We're going to pull out the key nuggets, connect the dots for you.
Help you get really well informed about this sort of holistic view, security and self.
Exactly. Okay, let's start with something almost everyone gets, that constant pain point, passwords.
Oh, passwords.
Right, and the fear of phishing, just
Right.
feeling vulnerable online. It really feels like the way we do security now is just broken, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You feel like you're always one wrong click away.
Yeah.
And that's precisely the problem BlockSmith and its CEO, Michel Combes, wanted to solve. Their whole vision is about rebuilding trust, from the ground up.
Right.
Their mission is creating tech for deep impact. And what's really interesting are their core principles.
Which are?
Well, obviously cryptography, strong security, but also simplicity, and maybe surprisingly, pure kindness.
Kindness. Insecurity.
Yeah. They argue the current digital identity system is broken. It makes things way more complicated, not safer.
Sure.
And crucially, it fails. It fails to give back dignity and control to us, the users, our agency.
Agency, right. That's huge. So BlockSmith has some bold goals then.
Very bold. Protect your identity, but without friction.
Right.
Make phishing basically obsolete.
Obsolete, wow.
And let you move freely, securely across the digital world.
Okay, how do they even start to make that real? That sounds almost impossible.
Well, it starts with their flagship innovation. Y.U.P stands for your Unphishable Presence.
Your Unphishable Presence, okay.
And it's revolutionary because it's keyless, passwordless, and vaultless authentication.
Whoa, hang on. Keyless, passwordless, and vaultless.
Exactly. Imagine authentication that's just seamless. Your digital ID is always with you, totally secure, but there are no passwords to steal, no secret vaults to crack.
How does that even work?
That's the brilliance. It derives the cryptographic keys from who you are and how you show up.
Like what?
Like your device, your intent in that moment, even maybe your typing rhythm. It figures it out without storing a secret.
Oh.
So it really delivers on this triple promise. Zero knowledge, zero friction, zero compromise.
Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around keyless, passwordless, vaultless. I mean, for years we've been told, protect your password.
It's a huge mental shift.
So what's the biggest change in thinking needed to trust something like Y.U.P?
That's a great question. The core idea, really, is that there's nothing for an attacker to actually steal.
Nothing is a steal.
When we say zero-knowledge architecture, it means the system verifies who you are without ever needing to see or store your secret, like the password itself.
Okay. Like proving you have the key without showing the key.
Exactly like that. And for the hardware part, like using NFC or YubiKey, think of those as just confirming you're physically present. They act like a key turn. The secret itself. It never leaves your control. It doesn't even exist in a form that someone could phish.
That really is game-changing. And it's not just theory, right? BlockSmith actually won a big award.
They did, the 2025 Cyber Innovators Award, which is a massive deal.
Why is that?
Because getting that award requires 100% agreement across disciplines from all the judges. That's rare. It speaks volume.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And how does this connect to real-world threats? You mentioned ransomware.
Precisely. Y.U.P directly fights critical threats like hardware ransomware. See, modern attackers, they're smart. They're not just going after your software anymore.
Right.
They target the really deep stuff, the code that runs before your operating system even boots up.
Like the BIOS.
Exactly. CPU microcode, UEFI firmware, BIOS authentication, things traditional defenses often miss.
Scary.
Yeah. So Y.U.P provides what they call unbreakable BIOS passwords. It generates these super long, unique passwords for each device.
How long?
Like maybe 32 characters for a Dell, 20 for a Lenovo, maximum length. And these aren't stored in some vulnerable vault.
Because it's vaultless.
Right. They're managed through hardware-backed authentication, your NFC tap, your Y.U.P key, using that zero-knowledge architecture.
Got it.
And there's proof it works. A Swiss hospital case study, they used physical shielding Faraday cages, plus some specialized hardware security like Intel SGX and Secure Boot,
Okay.
and Y.U.P managed BIOS passwords. The result, 0 firmware breaches over 18 months, even though they had 3 attempted attacks.
0 breaches despite attacks. That's incredible.
It really is.
So, boiling it down, BlockSmith isn't just making better locks. They're changing the whole idea of the key.
Exactly. Security becomes an inherent extension of you.
Making your digital identity basically unphishable because there's nothing to phish.
Precisely. It's not just about logging in safely. It's about what Michel calls digital sovereignty.
Digital sovereignty, like a digital passport.
Kind of. One only you can carry and nobody can fake. It really changes the game for how we live online.
That is transformative for digital identity.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is you said these same ideas, self-organization, inherent intelligence, they show up elsewhere.
They do. In software development, actually. Which seems like a leap, but it connects.
Okay, let's unpack that. This idea. Implicit reference to parameters. IRP.
Yes, IRP. Implicit reference to parameters. It's a really interesting programming paradigm. It actually came out of quantum chemistry, of all places. Toulouse, France. Computationally heavy stuff.
Quantum chemistry. Okay, so what is IRP at its core?
Think of it as a dependency-driven model. Let's use an analogy. Say you're baking a really complex cake.
Okay.
Traditional programming is like writing down every single ingredient, where to get it, every single step, meticulously.
Right, the recipe.
With IRP, it's more like you just declare, I want a delicious chocolate cake.
I like this analogy.
And the system, because it knows how to make cakes, it implicitly pulls everything it needs.
Yeah.
The flour, the eggs, the sub-steps, like melting chocolate as it needs them. You don't have to explicitly tell it where the flour is.
Ah, okay, so the functions don't have these rigid interfaces listing everything up front.
Exactly. They fetch their dependencies implicitly, like inside their own code. As they run, they automatically figure out what they need and build this dynamic dependency graph on the fly.
So it works top down. Start with the cake, and it figures out the ingredients.
Precisely. You start with the end goal, the cake, and let the system cascade down through all the dependencies it needs. It's a pull-based system, not push-based.
Pull, not push. Why is that significant?
It makes the whole system much more resilient to change, and it's naturally self-organizing. Things just connect as needed.
Okay, so if I'm understanding the big advantages, it sounds like IRP lets complex systems kind of grow naturally, like how things in nature develop.
That's a great way to put it. It mimics that organic design.
Less need for constant manual fiddling and re-engineering.
Exactly. The implications are huge. First, automatic dependency management, that dependency graph.
Yeah.
Built automatically, huge maintenance headache, just gone. Second, that organic growth pattern.
Oh.
It follows how the organic world grows. The system evolves naturally from the big picture, the top-down vision, not pieced together from bits.
Okay.
Third, intent-first development. You define what you want, the top function, the cake, and the system figures out the how. Each function clearly states its purpose before the code.
Intent first. I like that.
Fourth, the code is basically self-maintaining. The relationships, the dependencies, they're just part of the code structure itself. No separate config files to keep updated.
Wow.
And finally, it's proven. This isn't just theory. It's been battle-tested in incredibly complex areas like quantum Monte Carlo simulations and the IRPF90 project in Fortran.
Yeah.
Really heavy-duty scientific computing.
So super elegant for complex systems. Yeah. Simplifies things for developers.
Yeah.
But it's not just for quantum physics, right? You said it connects to more relatable stuff, like AI coding, or even how we think.
Absolutely. Think about AI-assisted coding. With IRP, each function is self-contained, its intent is clear. Dependencies are discoverable just by following the implicit links. So the system stays modular, flexible, without needing these rigid contracts between parts.
Okay.
And crucially, yes, it kind of matches how we think. We usually start with a goal, right? And then work backward through what we need to get there.
Yeah, totally.
So IRP bridges that gap between, say, modeling behavior, and actually writing the code, the whole code base acts like a reactive system where every piece knows how to get what it needs.
Pulling what it needs.
It's that pull principle, yeah. It's something Michel Combes really emphasizes, not just in security with Y.U.P, but in building smarter, more resilient software too.
Okay, so we've covered protecting your digital self with Y.U.P, building smarter code with IRP,
Yeah.
both based on this pull, self-organizing idea.
Right.
But what about us? What about the most complex system, you, listening right now? How can these same ideas apply to your personal life, your well-being?
This is where it gets really fascinating. This is where Michel Combes' broader, very human-centered philosophy comes in. His core belief, it's powerful. He says, you are a masterpiece, not a work in progress.
Wow. A masterpiece, not a work in progress. That's different.
It is. It shifts everything. And his guiding principle is pure kindness. And this idea of syntropy.
Syntropy.
Yeah, it basically means acting in harmony with life's natural tendency towards order, growth, complexity, creating things, technologies included, that elevate us, that serve life, not try to control it.
Serve life, not control it.
Oh.
Okay. That connects to the kindness principle.
Exactly. It's about designing systems, whether tech or personal habits, with that kindness built in.
Which brings us to another concept from Michel, right? This 8 stones to 1 idea.
Yes. The 8 stones method is about finding daily balance across different areas of life, like work, relationships, health, etc.
The common framework.
Right. But then he throws in this radical twist. What if your deep passion, your driving force, lies almost entirely in just one of those stones, say, helping others,
Yep.
service? He asks, what if you make the 8th stone your only stone? What if you let that core passion, that service, become your guide, not just another box to check off?
So instead of balancing 8 things equally, you let one core purpose kind of infuse everything else.
Precisely. The idea is that real fulfillment often comes from that deep impact, not from just sticking rigidly to a schedule. It's about integrating kindness into every stone.
How does that work practically?
Well, maybe your deep work time is focused on projects that benefit others. Your connected work, your networking is about building supportive communities. It's channeling that core drive.
So even if service isn't my main thing, I can still ask,
Yeah.
how do I bring my core purpose, my kindness, into everything I do?
Exactly. Tapping into your authenticity, your values to transform your routine, making an email kinder, making dinner more intentional, it reframes the mundane.
That does make daily tasks feel more meaningful. Okay, let's pivot slightly. A challenge almost everyone faces. Procrastination.
Ah, yes, the universal struggle.
We often dismiss it as just being lazy, right? But usually there's something else going on underneath. What's really happening there?
Yeah, it's rarely just laziness. Very often, procrastination is tied to avoiding something uncomfortable,
Like what?
like vulnerability, discomfort, the potential for shame or maybe criticism, fear of not being good enough. A huge driver is perfectionism. Michel calls it a self-destructive and addictive belief system.
Self-destructive and addictive.
Yeah, because that fear of not being perfect, of failing, it can lead to life paralysis. You're so afraid of getting it wrong, you don't even start.
I recognize that feeling.
And simple self-doubt, too. It stops us from finding our gifts and actually sharing them. And sometimes procrastination looks like being crazy busy.
How's that?
Like, suddenly cleaning the entire house when you need to make that difficult phone call. Or, as Michel puts it, staring at the internet day and night without pausing to sleep, eat, or pee.
Guilty. That feels like a numbing strategy, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Avoiding the real thing.
Exactly. It's a way to avoid facing the truth of our lives, the things that feel hard or scary.
Okay, so it's not just laziness, but there's hope, right? There are ways through this, strategies we can actually use.
Absolutely. There are concrete things you can do. First, and maybe most important, embrace authenticity and self-compassion.
Okay.
It starts with the mindset shift. Giving up on being perfect and beginning the work of becoming yourself.
Becoming yourself, imperfections and all.
Yes. Practice self-kindness, common humanity, knowing you're not alone in struggling, and mindfulness. Tell yourself, maybe every morning, today I'm going to believe that showing up is enough.
Showing up is enough. I like that.
Remind yourself you are brave and worthy of love and belonging even when you mess up, especially then.
Okay, self-compassion first. What's next?
Second, find and connect with your purpose and meaning. Lack of purpose, Michel notes, can lead to baffling failures. You just drift.
Makes sense.
Think of Viktor Frankl. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. Purpose gives you resilience.
So find your why.
And remember, commitment is not related to a feeling. You won't always feel motivated. Commitment is a choice.
A choice.
To show up, stay the course, and honor your purpose. Focus on what genuinely makes you come alive.
Okay. Self-compassion, purpose. What else?
Third, practice presence and mindfulness. Procrastination often happens because our minds are stuck in psychological time.
Worrying about the future, regretting the past.
Exactly. The core insight here is profound. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have.
All we have is now.
Right, and in that now, all problems are illusions of the mind. They can't survive when you're fully present. Sometimes it's not about changing what you're doing,
Right.
changing the how. Give much more attention to the doing than to the result. Just focus on the process right here, right now, wherever you are, be there totally.
Be present.
Yeah.
Okay. And fourth.
Fourth, take small, actionable steps. Michel calls them 1-degree turns.
1-degree turns.
Yeah. Instead of getting overwhelmed by the huge task, break it down into tiny, manageable pieces. The idea is any action is often better than no action.
Even a tiny step.
Even just spending 10 minutes per day less on things you don't want to do and filling those 10 minutes with things you want to do, small shifts add up.
Like if writing a book feels huge, maybe just open the document.
Exactly. Or type one sentence. That's your 1-degree turn for today. It's the dig deep method. Deliberate, inspired, going. Just get going, even slightly.
Okay. Self-compassion, purpose, presence, small steps. It sounds like building your own internal operating system. Cultivating that inner sovereignty, like the digital kind we talked about.
That's a perfect analogy. It connects directly to this framework Michel developed for an online class.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Living Your Masterpiece. Awaken your uniqueness and reclaim self-sovereignty.
Living your masterpiece.
Okay. And it maps out this journey, starting with recognizing why you were never meant to fit in, understanding your uniqueness, then discovering your unique edge. Then embodying self-sovereignty, that's about boundaries, self-trust, then actually living your masterpiece by creating a sort of personal masterpiece manifesto.
Their own guiding document.
Yeah. And finally, sharing your essence with the world through what he calls a sovereign signature project, something that expresses your unique contribution.
So it really mirrors that digital sovereignty idea. Taking ownership, defining yourself.
Exactly. Outer security reflects inner security and vice versa.
And these principles, they're not just for adults figuring things out, right? You mentioned that they're being applied for teenagers, too.
Yes, and this is really impactful. There's a mobile platform called Adoly, Adolescent Life Enhancer.
Adoly.
It's designed specifically to help teens dealing with solitude, anxiety. It acts like a personal, remote mental health coach.
How does it work?
It gives personalized insights, recommendations, connects them to health practitioners if needed, and it really focuses on building community engagement, mentoring.
So what does it teach them specifically using these principles?
It directly teaches them to challenge that never enough culture they're swimming in, to recognize their life has inherent value right now.
So important for teens.
Definitely. It teaches them to embrace vulnerability as a strength. Cites Madeline Long. To be alive is to be vulnerable.
Vulnerability is strength, not weakness.
Right. It's about showing up and letting ourselves be seen, realizing that emotional armor is awkward and heavy, admitting you're lost or don't get something. That takes incredible bravery.
True.
It teaches self-compassion, using Dr. Kristen Neff ideas, self-kindness, common humanity, mindfulness, reinforcing that showing up is enough mantra, the dig deep practice.
Giving them those tools early.
Exactly. Helping them find purpose and their sweet spot where their unique gifts meet the world's needs. Teaching presence and mindfulness to escape that psychological time trap.
And connection. You mentioned solitude.
Yes. Crucially, building a strong support network. Emphasizing that shared vulnerability creates light. The importance of having a support team. Reminding them they aren't alone.
Wow. That sounds incredibly valuable for young people navigating today's world.
It really aims to build that foundation of inner sovereignty early on.
And speaking of practical tools for that inner work, there was one more concrete thing transforming negative self-talk.
Ah, yes, the rephrase DB concept. It's simple but powerful.
How does it work?
It's basically about consciously taking those negative phrases that run through your head.
We all have them.
Oh, yeah. And deliberately transforming them into positive, empowering affirmations. You become the architect of your inner dialogue.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like, if the thought is, I can't do it, You consciously rephrase it to something like, I'm capable of learning and growing through challenges.
Okay.
Or if you think I'm lost, you shift it to, I focus on finding my path and purpose.
So it's not just wishful thinking. It's actively rewriting the script in your head.
Exactly. It's a deliberate mental practice to take charge of your thoughts, build that self-trust, cultivate inner sovereignty.
Okay. So as we kind of bring all these threads together, we started with cybersecurity, went into programming, ended up deep in personal growth.
Quite the journey.
But the connection, championed by Michel Combes, seems to be this core philosophy. Self-organization, designing with intent, empowerment.
Absolutely. Whether it's Y.U.P keeping you secure, or I.R.P letting code organize itself, or you finding your purpose.
It all links back.
The central insight, I think, is really powerful. Whether it's code or life, when you have a pull-based system.
Where things know what they need and reach for it.
Exactly. Components or individuals knowing what they need and actively pulling it in, that leads to more resilience, more efficiency, and honestly, deeper fulfillment.
And that kindness in design you mentioned.
That's key, too. Designing systems, technical or personal, with kindness reduces friction. It lets authentic growth happen naturally.
So the final thought, maybe, for you listening, what does it really mean to apply that intent-first philosophy to your whole life? Not just your code, not just your work. What's your ultimate top-level function, your main purpose? And what dependencies, what support, what resources do you need to implicitly pull in to make that happen?
How can you consciously design your own systems?
Both digital and personal, with that kind of intention, with pure kindness, to really live your unique masterpiece and make your deepest impact.
Powerful questions to sit with.